Welcome to another edition of the Red Zone podcast. I'm your host, Emmanuel Point Jure, and today, CFL Tears after week 17. It continues. 4 more weeks left to go in the CFL season, and no new teams in Sunset Valley or the elimination zone. Because as we get to the bottom of the tiers, we have the Elks and we have the Argos, and both of these teams are going to be facing elimination even after the Elks won that game against the Rough Riders because BC won and Winnipeg won. So that didn't really help them out. So they're facing elimination after the bye week. Another week that you're not in the elimination zone. So that's good for the Elks. And then the Argos lost to BC, setting up a must win, a do or die game against the Hamilton Tiger Cats at home. That's for their season. So there's no room for error for both of these teams. They need to win their next one. Next in the tiers, we have the Calgary Stampeders and the Hamilton Tiger Cats, two teams that are holding on for dear life. The Tiger Cats were actually coming off of a 3-game winning streak before getting absolutely destroyed by the Winnipeg Blue Bombers 40-3. That game got away from them real quick, especially in the second half. Zach Collaros was brilliant. Bo Levi didn't even have a bad game. It was just, I don't know, they just couldn't get anything going, I guess, as they lost to Winnipeg, who put 40 on them. That just can't happen down the stretch of the year. You got to get that fixed right away. Same can be said with the Calgary Stampeders, who have lost 3 games in a row and getting blown out in 2 of them, 2 out of the 3. Oh boy, it is tough when you're giving up 52 points in one and 38 points in another. That defense has really fallen off a cliff over the last month. With the loss of Flo Orumalade, they made a trade right before the deadline to bring in Lorenzo Malden from Ottawa, who's had a down year thus far in 2025. Hopefully he can give him a spark, though, to end the year, because that defense has really just been disappointing the last couple games. Unable to get much pressure, unable to get sacks, and, in the secondary, not getting turnovers. So they need to get it fixed right away. Same with that offense. There was hope there against Montreal. They fixed things a bit, but they need to get rolling now. This is crunch time, and the Stamps don't want to be losing 7 in a row to end the year. That would just not be a good look, even though they're, I would think, safe to make the playoffs. I would think some miracle would have to happen for them to not make it at this point, but they need to get things together. Let's see if they can do that in BC on Saturday. Next here, we got Winnipeg and BC. And I said Dinoco 400 final lap scene. If you watch the movie Cars, you would know what I'm talking about. It was when the King and Chick Hicks saw that Lightning McQueen had blown a tire in the final lap. He had a big lead, and then they saw that, and man, oh man, did they make a beeline for it. And they caught up to McQueen. Unfortunately, it ended in a tie. I don't know how this is going to end between the Winnipeg Blue Bombers, the BC Lions, and the Calgary Stampeders. But man, oh man, are we in for an interesting 4 weeks to end the year. Man, both of these teams coming off of wins. Winnipeg, obviously, that 40-3 beatdown of the Hamilton Tiger Cats, and the BC Lions got a win against Toronto, where Rourke kind of had an off game through 3 interceptions, but it was enough to get the victory against the Argos. So we'll see how this plays out in the last 4 weeks. We can't count out the Winnipeg Blue Bombers, especially with what they've done over the last 5 years. Moving way up the tiers, we have the Montreal Alouettes, and order has been restored. Yes, Davis Alexander is back from injury, And if you thought there was rust, yeah, you're mistaken because he was on fire. And maybe that was just the Calgary defense. Who knows? But he went 26 of 36 for 350 yards and a touchdown. Not too shabby on his part. And that receiving core. I mean, it's not just Tyson Philpott or Austin Mack. It's also Tyler Snead, who had 8 receptions for 115 yards. Also, Cole Speaker had 4 receptions for 81 yards. So it's anyone in that receiving core that can go off any given week. Stevie Scott in the run game, 12 for 55, not too bad. I think they still need to get that going a little bit, but without that offense played last week, and then that defense, getting back to form, Tyrese Beverett had an interception, and then they had also a couple sacks. They look pretty good as well. Watch out for Montreal. They could be scary team down the stretch. And then finally, we have the Saskatchewan Roughriders keeping their place at the top of the tiers even after a 2-game losing streak, but they are leaving the door open. Now, nobody is really within reach of them right now with Calgary on a 3-game losing streak, but BC and Winnipeg, I mean, they won a couple in a row. If they keep on winning, you never know what could happen. I mean, outside shot, but stranger things have happened in the CFL. We'll see if the Riders can bounce back and clinch a West final bye. But that will do it for this edition of CFL Tiers. Let me know what you think in the comments below. Let's make our Week 18 predictions in the CFL, starting with Friday Night Football. We have the Rough Riders at the Red Blacks. Give me the Riders. I think the Red Blacks are shutting it down. I don't think they're going to be making any playoff push this year, as they are in the elimination zone. For me, they could be eliminated as soon as I would think this week. I mean, it's very, very slim playoff chances right now. So give me the Riders there. And then on Saturday, we got 2 games, only 3 games this weekend, as we have the Tiger Cats and the Alouettes. I like the Tiger Cats to bounce back in that spot and basically eliminate the Toronto Argonauts from playoff contention. And then the Stamps at the Lions. I can't go against the BC Lions right now with how they're playing on both sides of the ball. I think it's like 8 straight games of 30 plus points. I may be wrong, but that's just ridiculous. Nathan Rourke is playing at a very high level, and they have James Butler back in the lineup after he missed the last game against the Stamps. Really didn't matter, though, as they put up 52 points. Give me the Lions to win that one. I don't know what's happening with the Stampeders right now. We'll have to see if VA can have any sort of revenge game this week, or if it's more of the same for the Stampeders, who are on a 3-game losing streak. But those are my predictions. Again, I hope you enjoyed, and we will see you on the next episode. Peace.